What's the name of our moon? Moon is the name of the natural satellite orbiting Earth. The common name, moon, is derived from the name of our natural satellite. Like the common name, sun, is often used to call a star. It is not a moon. It is the moon. The real problem is that we started calling other large natural satellites moons. If you think about it, before that became a common term, there was just one moon and its name was Moon. A name which is equally as nonsensical as any other term for a celestial body. The word moon, as far as linguists can tell, has always meant moon even back when it was monas in Proto-Germanic and even earlier as mo, 3, n in Proto-Indo-European. This is also the root of the word month. For obvious reasons, other languages like Latin, which used luna, or Greek, which used Selene, named the moon originally the shiny thing, and its name evolved over time and eventually the meaning was forgotten. This makes sense, because the moon was the largest and most obvious shining thing, and also these may have originally been epithets of the moon goddess which came in time to replace her original name. The planets which are visible to the human eye have had names for as long as we've had language. And when their names appear in written records, named after Babylonian gods, they appear to have been named that way since time immemorial. The Greeks appear to have taken their names for the planets from the Babylonians and merely translated the gods. The Romans did the same thing. Hence Mars, Venus, etc. In ancient Greek sources, there was some debate over whether they genuinely were the gods they were named after, or merely dots in the sky with a conventional name. In any case, there are no moons visible in the sky except our own, so there was no generic term invented for a moon in the same way that planet was invented. Moons that didn't belong to Earth were first spotted around Jupiter and Saturn some time after the invention of rudimentary telescopes. By this time, Latin had been the language of science in Europe for several hundred years, and so they were originally named in Latin. The first were named by Galileo. They were named according to the long-standing convention of using Roman mythology, which had long since to have literal meaning. However, Galileo almost certainly named them lunae in his notes, because that was the best word available, and post-medieval Latinists very rarely invented terms. So really, we have Galileo to blame for this. Or indeed whoever translated his work into English first. That anonymous Renaissance scientist has screwed over generations of budding astronomers. And he didn't even realize it.
Luna.
Technically moons are called satellites, so it's more accurate to say our satellite is named the moon. It's just the moon, but if you want a Latin name you can say Luna, but it also directly translate into just moon. Da moon. The name of Earth's moon is the moon, just as the name of Earth's sun is the sun. To expand further on what people are saying, for much of human history, there were only 3 types of heavenly bodies in the sky. There was the one and only moon, there was the one and only sun, and every else was considered a star. There were various guesses and theories that may have been along the right track. But it wasn't until the telescope was invented that we could see that there were other heavenly bodies like the Earth, and that some of them had bodies orbiting them much like the moon does. So since those objects were similar to the moon, we called them moons named after the original one known. That is why ours is the moon, and the others are just moons. We named the moon before we knew there was more than one of them and just called the others after it. The moon is named Moon. The name, the moon, is the English version of the name. And in fact, the moon has been known by many names throughout human history. including Luna, perhaps its most famous name. Luna is the Latin name, while the Greeks called it Selene. The Chinese name for the moon is Chang'e, and the Egyptian god of the moon was named Thoth, and the name they often gave to it. It has been called Tsukiyomi by the Japanese, Sin by the Mesopotamians, and Mani by certain Germanic tribes. Some would say that the Earth is our moon, but that would belittle the name of our moon, which is the moon. Point is, we're at the center, not you. Humans see the same moon, but call it by a different language. So I guess it has hundreds, if not thousands, of names. We call it the moon, but have we ever asked it? It might want to be called Clive.
Luna.
The moon before it collided with Earth was called Theia, but throughout history it has culturally been called many names. You know how your grandparents call every game console a Nintendo? Same thing with other natural satellites. We call them moons. Even though moon is already the name of a natural satellite, it's our natural satellite. Fromage. Gordon. The.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.